changed in the second quarter that kind of got you guys in a rhythm?
Just relaxed and started to play our brand of ball, and then we started to get things going.
Was there any one specific thing that kind of led to that, or?
Just talked about it right after that first quarter, and really just wanted to gather ourselves and get back and start playing our brand of football.
Devaughn, you got into the end zone twice. How'd that feel?
Felt really good. Long time coming.
Cam, 4 touchdown passes is a career high for you. What does that mean to you?
Nothing. It means that we won the football game. That's all I really care about.
Any other questions?
Looking at it from the other side, defensively, you held San Diego State to 1 passing yard in that second quarter, 7 passing yards total in the first half. What can you say about the defensive effort that you guys had?
They did a great job all night, just really dominating up front and making sure that they were controlling the line, and that just kept giving us the ball back with good field position, and it made our jobs that much easier, and we were able to answer for them.
Is there anything that changes focus-wise now that non-conference play is done, or kind of still the same?
Same mentality. We got to go out and win some football games.
What did it mean to finally get a win over San Diego? Did it matter in that way? Like, did you guys think of this as a different game than maybe normal?
I think we were just pissed off about last year, the way it finished, coming up short, and we really just wanted to send a message, especially heard that they were talking about physicality all week and how they're going to out-physical us again and all that, and just took that personal.
Well, there was a lot of talk about wanting to get the wide receivers involved. Obviously, this was a game where it seemed like the game plan was a little bit more directed to you guys. How do you feel like you guys did overall? How would you rate your guys, the wide receivers?
You know, it's good to start getting the recognition that we've been working so hard for. A lot of the guys in the room, you know, it's been hard at first, you know, trying to stay with it, but we got a good group of guys. You know, we're a lot of selfless dudes. You know, we understand that the team always comes first. So we just kept our head down and was just waiting for the opportunity, and we're grateful that we got the opportunity. But, you know, it's proving a lot of people wrong. You know, we heard a lot of things about them saying the receiving core is lacking and that we can't trust them on the outside. But, you know, once we get that opportunity, we always make sure we capitalize on that. So, you know, I give credits to the whole team. You know what I mean? It's not just us. It takes a whole team to get a win in the game. You know, it starts at the O-line. It starts with the quarterback. You know, the tight ends. Everybody has a role in something. So we don't want to make it too much about ourselves. But, you know, it's really good to start getting the ball and getting a little bit more involved in the offense, because we understand we got some dudes on the team, but, you know, we can also be those dudes as well on the offensive side.
Cam, what does that do for you when you have wide receivers that can, you know, get down the field, stretch the field, and open up things for the rest of the offense? What does that do for you?
Just makes it that much more versatile. You can hit the guys inside in the middle, or you can go outside, and it just gives you that many more options. And they do a great job making sure that they're just doing whatever the team needs to do, no matter what the situation, and just props to them. So I'm glad we got inside and outside, so it makes my life that much easier.
What have you guys learned about yourselves as a team through these first 3 games of the season?
You can't flinch. There's no time to flinch, and we really just got to make sure if things aren't going the right way, we got to just relax and start playing our brand of football.
Karene, can you take us through that interception, and what did it feel like to make that play happen?
Yeah, my coverage stayed in the backfield to block. I was responsible for the running back, and so I just looked where I could help elsewhere, read the quarterback's eyes, and was lucky enough to be in that position.
What was it like for you and Gabe to have such a great performance on the same night?
Yeah, man, it's super special. I mean, it's hard for me to put into words, but when I see him doing well, and I'm sure when he sees me doing well, it's undescribable.
How important was it for this defense to really kind of show up, you know, these last 2 weeks, especially after kind of how things were in that first week against Florida?
Yeah, we really needed that. I feel like the first 2 weeks, especially the front seven, we were really trying to find our identity as a defense. So to play a team that loves to run the ball and takes pride in running the ball, and for us to stalemate them like that, it's huge as far as momentum going into conference play.
Cam, did San Diego State do anything defensively early on that caught you guys off guard?
There just was a lot of movement, and we just need to do a better job handling that movement early, and then we'll be better off because of it.
Any other questions for the guys? Okay. I was going to, and then now you guys get Cole Bishop one-on-one.
Sorry, I'm late.
Everybody's leaving. Go ahead.
Cole, you led the team in tackles tonight. What was just going? I mean, describe that, I guess.
I mean, we had a really good game plan going in, just being able to do my assignment and, when the play comes to you, just make it.
You guys go through, they went through 3 quarterbacks. Does that kind of give you guys momentum knowing like, hey, we're doing things well? What was that kind of experience like for you guys?
I didn't even realize it at first, and then someone mentioned it, and then I guess it was their 3rd quarterback that was in, actually number 9. So I think their starter had something wrong with his eye, and just always getting after the quarterback always makes it better for the team as a whole.
You guys, after these last couple weeks of good defensive performances, what does that kind of do for you guys' confidence as a defense?
It definitely builds it for sure. I mean, after Florida, you guys know we had a lot of missed tackles, and that's something we really focused on. And I don't think we had too many of them tonight, and last week we didn't have many at all. So just keep getting the momentum going and going to build our confidence is helping out.
How much did it mean to shut down a team that likes to run the ball the way San Diego State does after you struggled with the run against Florida?
A lot. I mean, last year they ran the ball a lot against us, and that was a big point this week, was just being physical and trying to out-physical them and not let them run the ball as much as they can, and I think we did that pretty good.
So since the Florida game, you guys have only allowed 2 touchdowns. What does this mean to the defense heading into conference play?
Good. I mean, we're going in really confident. We've just been getting better and better every week, and just going to keep building on that.
How do you assess the defense at 3 games into the season?
Good. I mean, like you guys have said, we've been improving every week. We still got a lot to work on. Obviously, going into conference play, we need to have less and less mistakes every week now, so we just got to keep improving.
With Mo Diabate out, did that change anything for you, or did they play you up a little bit more, do you feel? Or?
I wouldn't say I played up anymore, really. Mostly I'm just trying to stay with the tight end, and if he's in the box and I'm in the box, if he's out on there, I'm out there usually. So him being out, I mean, you miss having him out there for sure, a guy with that much experience. But, I mean, guys like Lander, Karene, Andrew Matafa, everyone's stepping up whenever they're needed.
Through these first 3 games, what do you feel like you guys have learned about yourselves as a team?
We've definitely learned the things we need to work on coming from week 1, missing tackles, not being physical enough, but we've just been improving on that, and we just got to keep getting better at that aspect of it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, good win for our football team. We're starting to get a little momentum, figure out who we are, what our strengths are. Slow start. That was the biggest disappointment in the game. It took a while for the offense to get untracked. I think it was all the way till midpoint of the second quarter before we put points on the board. But defense was solid from start to finish. Did give up a touchdown there at the end off of the fumbled punt return, which was unfortunate to see. That was our only turnover of the night. But played really good run defense, and that's really a starting point for us on D is to take away the run, force people to throw the ball, and then get after the quarterback. So Cam had a nice night. Didn't throw for a ton of yards, but 60% completion, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, so he did a nice job. Vele made some really nice catches. He only caught 3 balls, but they were big. Kuithe was his usual presence. Dalton Kincaid. Unfortunately, it looks like Chris Curry's gone for the season. that's breaks my heart. Great kid, great teammate. All he does is work hard, doesn't complain, and is a great leader for us. And so we'll miss his leadership. Fortunately, he does have another year, and so we'll get him back next year. But that's the big downer from the game. Thought the front seven on defense, like I said, played really well. Only gave up a handful of first downs. Not many. I mean, we were really good on defense. Total low, 175 yards, right around there. Offense, we weren't as prolific as I thought we could have been, really due to the slow start that kept the numbers down. We were right around 400 yards of O, I think. But overall, a good win for our team. Gives us some momentum now going into the conference play. Got a road trip next week to Tempe, and away we go. It's conference play from here on out, and that's why we're here, is to try to win the Pac-12.
Is there anything that you can attribute to these last 2 weeks where there is a slow start in that first quarter?
Just couldn't get in a rhythm offensively. We could never get in a rhythm. They were slanting and moving, which they do every week. That was no surprise. We just didn't hit movement real well in the first quarter and a half, and just found ways to kill drives. And so, we'll look at the film and see if there's any common denominators between last week and this week. But once we got going and got momentum, then the floodgates kind of opened, and we put the game away mid-third quarter.
We saw Clark Phillips kind of maybe injure himself, go out. He seemed fine, but is there any update you have?
No, we don't update on any injury unless it's season ending, and so all I can say is we don't feel it's serious, but you never know how long it'll take before we get him back. We hope for this next week.
What was the biggest difference for the wide receivers getting involved this week?
Well, they made plays. They got open. Cam got him the ball, and they made plays. See, Solo Enos made a couple nice plays and had a nice run after catch on a critical, I think it was third down, in it was either that second quarter or third quarter. I can't remember exactly when. Devaughn Vele, I've been talking him up all fall camp, and you saw glimpses tonight of what his capabilities are. He's a big play guy. And none of the other wide receivers, those two guys play 90% of the reps. Our base personnel is the two tight ends, Vele and Enos. I mean, those are the guys that we play with the vast majority of the time. And so we're not going to take those tight ends off the field. They're too valuable.
Momentum is kind of a weird thing, obviously. Is it one of those things where you feel like once your team finally saw somebody catching the ball, that things started to open up, or was there something different that they just started to see the reads better and do different things that way?
Okay, say that again.
So I'm just saying, like with momentum, when that comes, obviously the team did better. Like I think it was Solo had a 15-yard pass. It seemed like everything changed after that. Do you feel like that's kind of how things are moving with this team, that somebody needs to make a play before it steps up?
It could be. I don't know if that's exactly it. I know the protection started getting a little bit better as the game wore on, which that's a huge part of being successful in the throw game. But a big play can spark you. Somebody makes a play and moves the chains, and away you go, and that very well could have been. Did you ever watch the Viking series? You look like a Viking. Cool beard. Okay.
Defensively, you held San Diego State to 1 yard passing in the second quarter and 7 yards passing in the first half. What really keyed kind of the effectiveness in being able to shut them down?
Yeah, well, I think first of all, they lost their quarterback. We knocked him out of the game, and so the other guys were very inexperienced, and so that kind of put a damper on their throw game when they lost number 5. But I think our secondary was very tuned in tonight. They made some plays. We got some good players back there. Clark and J.T. Broughton are really good. You saw Zamiah Vaughn come in for Clark, and he played a lot for us last year when we had that towards the end of the year when all the corners were going down, and he really played well then also, so it was really no surprise. But and then our safeties, Cole Bishop and R.J. Hubert are solid, so we should be good back there because the guys that have played good football for us in the past, and they're 1 year more experienced and 1 more year in the system, and they're very intellectual safeties and secondary. They're very smart. They study film, and they do a good job of knowing sets and personnel groups and what's coming before it happens.
Karene and Lander really stepped up in absence of Diabate. What did you see from them that you liked?
Yeah, Landon Martin's a stud. He's going to be he's the future of Utah football, and one of the future stars. He's got it all. He just needs to continue to get experience and get used to the speed of the Division I game. But he's a really good player. Medlock is another really tough, active linebacker, and he didn't play as much as Lander tonight, but he saw a glimpse of him. The Reid brothers, Karene that plays linebacker, he had the pick that really was the dagger in the game in that third quarter. And, the linebackers playing well. We hope to get Mo back this week. We'll see. But I think odds are that you'll see him ready for this next game.
Coach, now that the non-conference season is over, or portion of the season is over, what do you feel like you've learned about your team thus far?
Well, we've certainly gotten seasoned, I guess you could say, in the front seven. The first game was abysmal. It was horrible. And that just wasn't who we are. But then we settled in, and last week you saw it show up this week against a FBS opponent. And they were very stout up front. I mean, they did a nice job gap control wise, and there was no creases there. Very few places to run the football. Offensively, we're a veteran group. It was disappointing how we ran the ball early in the game, and that really, we go typically as the run game goes. If we're getting run game in high gear, then the play action game follows suit and everything opens up. And so we ran the ball decent tonight, but not up to our standards. I think we were sub 200 yards, it was like 190 yards or something. We're a 200-plus yard team when we're clicking.
Speaking to that, Mekhi Bernard seemed to have a few breakoffs and was able to do well. Was there something different, maybe the way you guys utilized him versus Tavion?
No, he's a really good back, and he's had trouble the first couple games with cramping and some issues, and it's not due to being out of shape or not being hydrated. I mean, we've looked at this from every single possible angle, but tonight he was able to not cramp and continue to play, and he's very talented. I mean, he's not only a good running back, but we know how valuable he is catching the ball out of the backfield. And then you saw Jalen Glover. I'm going to tell you right now, Jalen Glover is going to be a really good running back before it's all over.
Coach, the TV broadcast has your top 4 Broadway plays as Jersey Boys, Motown, Rock of Ages, and Beautiful. Is it safe to say that you are an avid theater goer?
I like to go to the theater. I slept solid through Les Mis and Phantom of the Opera. I mean, I was out, and so it's got to be the right one. But those are my 4. Rod Gilmore wanted me to share that with you, so it got on the broadcast now, I guess. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good side note. Okay. Anything else? Jordy, you can call off the dogs.